must be made. Corrupt halls where shadows scheme, stealing futures, shattering dreams. Bitter moms, their hate.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Dad Talk today. I am Dwayne Moore, the pissed off parent, and as you notice, I'm not the handsome Eric Carroll that's normally on. He will be on later, but I wanted to bring y'all into a special episode of Dad Talk today. It is a very heavy topic. It is the John Mast trial, John Mast 5 years later. I want to thank you all for joining in. Just kind of give you kind of a preview of everything. We're going to kind of talk a lot about John Mast. We're going to go ahead and just kind of remember his spirit, what he did, where we're at today, and just kind of what's upcoming. As everyone should probably know, Monday, Eric Carroll is going to be on site up in Lewiston, Idaho, streaming the wrongful death trial of John Mast. And again, that comes from your support. That's how he's there. He's actually trying to get to a location right now to where he can join in, and you can see actually a handsome face for once, and kind of talk about some of the. I don't want to give anything away, but talk about some of the trials and tribulations he's experienced with flying. So he will talk about that. Again, I know it's it's a very, it is a heavy topic, but, again, this is Dad Talk today. We want to talk about just everything, John Mast, dads, celebrating our wins, our losses, and just really find, bring this community together. Again, like I said, I'm hoping to get Eric in here pretty shortly so we can kind of continue with the show. The comment lines are open. We're streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Sorry to the InstaSnap crowd and the X crowd and all that, and Rumble. We're normally on there, but due to some technical difficulties, we were unable to get that out there. So I would say like, share, subscribe, have your friends come in, and we'll make this a party. All right, actually, we have Eric, our roving reporter, out of I don't even think he knows where he's at right now, but you can see that he is happy as can be to be in wherever he's at. And without further ado, let's get Eric on and see where his skills are. He's kind of all over the place right now. Okay, I think, Eric, we can hear you, or at least I can. If the crowd out there that's on, got a lot of people on, you can give him some support. Let him know you can hear him. That would be great. Maybe get his big finger out of the way, and we'll jump in there. We got actually some comments while we're waiting for this. Let's see, it looks like Cindy Slavins. Keep up the great work. Eric and company, love you guys. Love you too. Thank you for being a supporter, being in there and watching us today. Gives us that desire to keep moving. Oh, looks like Eric, are you on?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. It's like an AT&T commercial.
Sorry, guys. That sucks. It's going to have to do. It's been a heck of a day, dude.
It's a little bit, you're a little bit muffled, just a tad. I don't know if you can ramp up the audio for us. Actually, Stephanie, I've got an echo on YouTube a bit ago. That may have been me. Who knows who that could have been?
Yeah.
Oh, we got actually Janet from Montana. Hi, Montana.
Yes.
So, Eric, how's it going? How you like flights? How do you like flying around?
Dude, so I got at the Atlanta airport at about 5:30 this morning. Everything seemed to be going smooth, and I knew then something's going to happen. I've had that feeling.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah, we was a little late leaving Atlanta. And so the only flight I could find was coming through Denver first to go to Idaho. Anytime you fly out west, it's a pain in the you-know-what. But when I got here, my connecting flight had already took off. So I talked to the company, and they said they don't have another flight leaving for another 2 days.
2 days. Two.
And then didn't want to refund me. Just wanted
Okay.
to move to Denver and stuck here. So I'll be staying here. Luckily, I found another flight. It was an extra $600 out of nowhere. It's just been a disaster, guys. Then I've been running around the hotel. I mean, hotel. I'm tired. Sorry. Running around the airport for the last 4 hours trying to find my bags. And finally, I found it on a random cart somebody had loaded it up on. But
Wow.
the good news for that is we will be there to stand with John tomorrow.
Come hell or high water, we are going to be there. You're going to be on the ground in the courtroom. I don't want to give away too much because this is something that you, ever since the unfortunate results of the last trial, and I will say they're unfortunate. Others may have other opinions. I will say that was unfortunate what the end result. But you have been working behind the scenes to to be there in support of John, his family, and see if justice gets served. But if you want to talk about any of the what you've been doing, getting everything ready?
So it was one of those, it's been 2 years since we worked on the last one. There has been so much that's went on in this trial. It's so easy to forget little details and stuff. So it's been trying to like reopen that case, trying to get my mind ready for the focus. The biggest thing that I'm wanting to do on this one is just provide ground support basically for the family and live stream. They always wanted John's story out. This is the last chapter, and it wouldn't be right if Dad Talk wasn't there. We have a great relationship with the courthouse up there. This will be the third time they've allowed us to go in there with cameras, which is very rare. Um, and so I know the you're going to hear, I mean, I can't say this for certain, but I believe you're going to hear parts of the story this go around that you've never heard before.
Wow. Okay. All right. So some new information. And for those that haven't, that are unfamiliar with John Mast's story, actually, Eric with Dad Talk Today produced actually two documentaries that detailed the what led up to it, the aftermath, how Eric got involved with that personally, and why it's such a big part of really who you are at this point. Actually, I do have spun up the trailer documentary. I don't know if you want to watch that now, watch that later, but maybe kind of get people familiar with what happened. It's been a minute.
I just wanted to ask Dwayne, obviously we're live. I'm getting a really bad echo off of you. You sound like something off the Jetsons.
Oh, okay. Let's
Is it
see.
you guys or is it anybody else? Let us see so
Let
like we
me
can diagnose this.
let me edit my mic settings. Let me adjust that. See, does that help? Is that any better?
No,
It's not any better. That
you
is
sound like
very
Rosie,
strange.
Rosie off the
Um,
Jetsons.
maybe ramp it down a smidge. Maybe no one just likes to hear me. I don't know.
I mean, I know what you're saying. Um, what, sorry, dude, my brain is Swiss cheese. Okay, they said it's okay, so it must just be me.
Oh,
There
I
you
gotta
go.
do something about that.
Um, John's case has been so personal for me. I've done a lot. I've forgotten more of what I've done with Dad Talk than I remember. Um, but if somebody asked at the end of the day if there was one thing that I've done that would kind of like point out the best what we did with Dad Talk, it would be the John Mast case. That one was personal at a level none of, I mean, all of them are, guys. The one we did just like a little over a week ago with Joyce. Oh my God, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Going,
that was a bad one.
I was following. The weird thing about this is this was a case I was following before he was killed, and he was a supporter of mine. He messaged me frequently, and he used to tune in, just like you guys did. And just 2 months before he was killed, he was
Mhm.
on the screen with me, just like we are doing right now. So to get the message early in the morning, February 2021, that he was shot and killed, man, dude, I'll never forget that. I was already starting to experience some trauma with the father's right stuff. because it was quite frequent that I would wake up in the middle of the night and you either had a guy that didn't want to be on this earth anymore. I won't say the word. You obviously know.
Self-delete. Yeah.
Yeah. There was something like that going on, or just there was some horrific stuff going on. So I can never get up in the middle of the night and just go to the bathroom. I always have to check my phone first. My wife would slap me. She'd like, "Stop it," just put your phone down. But that one morning, luckily I picked up my phone and I had a message from John's sister that he got shot and killed. And I remember just screaming, like to the top of my lungs, like, "Are you kidding me?" I was hoping I was reading it wrong, but unfortunately I wasn't. He was killed. And I think the thing about John's case that hits on a different level for anybody that doesn't think the system is corrupt. Here you have a father that did everything the right way. He did it the way he was told. He went through the system. He paid the money, hired the attorneys, proved that the allegations were false. You couldn't have done more than what John did. And unfortunately, even in his death, that silver bullet still gets used against him.
Mm-hmm.
That's the unfortunate thing. No dad should have to go through what John went through. And to know that he fought so hard for his kids, it would be a shame for us to allow that story to go by the wayside. I want to make sure to always make sure John's story is heard, and I want to see justice. I don't think we've gotten justice yet. I mean, I don't know that you can get full justice in a case like this. Yes, I know Jim is behind bars. He'll probably never get out. I would think he would probably be dead before he gets out. Regardless of the fact, if a guy getting on video in the back of a cop car saying it was premeditated, I planned it, was it first degree murder? It was voluntary manslaughter. Our system is so far beyond broken, it's not even funny. You already got that geared up, huh?
Yeah, I did a little preparation H work on it, and yeah, I have quite a bit. Again, with you moving around the country and doing all this, I didn't know kind of ordering and all that, but I did have. I mean, I had a chance to watch part of the documentary again, a little bit of the trial, and one of the things that kind of hit me was the family. I mean, we talk about this father was gunned down. Actually, they referred to it as assassinated.
In early February of this year, a man.
I fat fingered something. Let me pull that back. But there's that, and the fact that something like this happens, and with alienation and all that, is that it. But there's the impact to the family. John's passing was horrific for him. He'll never grow up. But then I'll be honest. I was looking at some of the pictures. I looked at the 3 layers in, and the family and the children. I made like a little montage of pictures of him with his kids. And this is what this person took from John. I mean, it's not just John; it's his kids. His kids aren't going to grow up with their dad. They're and all that. And I was hoping to, if I could, go ahead and play that, have everybody kind of watch and see. All right, let's see if I can do this without messing it up here. All right, you'll pop that up there. It's pretty. That's a younger Eric. And those were his diaries. And those were his kids. his family.
Such
Yeah.
a beautiful family, dude. So I would like to note that one picture that you had on there that said 2.5 years. That was from a project specifically on Dad Talk that I did the year before John passed away on what was classified as parental alienation day. Uh, and this was before we were at the, extent that we are now. I had so many parents reaching out, hey, I want to be on the podcast. I want to tell my story. You can't do it all. But I wanted them to have an outlet to show people like what it is they've been through. And so I came up with an idea of sending a picture of you and your kids, and I want you to write on the picture how long it's been since you've seen your kids, or how long it's been since you've been alienated. John was the first one, Dwayne. He was always the first one.
First one.
And that was the picture he sent in 2.5 years.
Wow. Yeah, I think Emmanuel here kind of nails it. The true impact of the family is the biggest thing. That's, yeah. I don't know why my glasses got a little foggy. It's kind of hard watching it.
See, well, people have no idea what that video when you first pulled it up, and I'm in the green shirt, and John was on video with me like we are right now. Dude, that was the greatest gift from God, man. I was in the middle of mixing down the first documentary, and I lost 3 months of my life. Literally. I didn't lose it. I mean, it was for good reason, but I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning and stayed up until about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for 3 months straight. I didn't take no off days, and it was nonstop editing, and it was, you're trying to put together pieces of the puzzle with what part of the story you've got. And you got so many different people giving their pieces of the puzzle. But in my head, I'm like, John, what would you want me to do? I knew that I had did this with John, and I had told the family that I had spoke with John that day. I didn't know that I recorded it.
Right.
So this was a separate recording on Thanksgiving, and I was going to spend Thanksgiving with my family, but I wanted to do something for the alienated parents again. So that week, I pre-recorded a lot of interviews, edited them together, and it played on a loop on Thanksgiving. And again, John was the first one to reach out. He was the first one to come on with me that day. And I never do this, dude, because it's not because I don't want to. I'm generally pressed for time. And when people want to tell you about their family law case or alienation, it could go on for 5 or 6 hours. When you're trying to talk to, 40 or 50 people within a 4 or 5 hour time, frame, you got to keep it moving. But some reason when I got through with John that day, I could just feel this pulling in my heart, like, you need to pull him up and talk to him. And I did. And I just wanted him to know. I could tell he felt so alone, so misunderstood. And, that was just to let him know, like, you've got a friend in me.
Yeah.
Dude, that there was one night I was just so lost into the editing. Like, where do I go next? Like, is this what John would want? And I'm trying to find all the videos and the content from Dad Talk, which, dude, when you need to do a documentary, you've got 200, 300, 2-3 hour podcasts, and you're looking for a 30-second clip. Oh my God, dude. And so I'm just, that whole night I was going through trying to find all my clips for the documentary, and next thing I know, I look up and John is on the screen with me. And this was like 6 months after his death.
Yeah.
I cried like a baby. And there is things in there. I did cut some of it out because that was between me and John.
Right.
But there was things in there that hit me on just such a different level, guys. You would just have to understand. I needed that. I needed it so much. And I can honestly tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, come tomorrow, when that trial starts, John Mast would want Dad Talk there.
Yeah.
He would want us there doing what we're doing now. And as much as John loved his kids, if he knew what the consequences was going to be, and if he would have knew he would have ended up the way he did, he would want this movement to roll on. He would tell you it's more important than any of us. This thing is bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
That is, well, see, here's, like I said, man, just so many memories and like so much to reflect on. That right there was finally getting to go to John's grave. That was after the last trial. When I found out that Jim got voluntary manslaughter, I went ballistic.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was
You know, as much as I talk about family courts and the stuff that I do,
what a scam it is.
that was my first time being in the courtroom watching it go down. And so when the verdict came, I knew it was going to be rough either way.
Mm.
But when we got the verdict, the judge allowed us to come in that courtroom. He was very respectful of us. I was going to be respectful of him. I waited, let it end, and I said, guys, I'll meet you back at the room. Please get all the equipment up, meet me there. I just wanted to be by myself. I got there, dude. I let out the biggest F-bomb, just like to the top of my lungs. It really shook me to its core. And there was a moment there, very brief moment, where I was like, I quit. Like,
Yeah.
I failed John. I'm done. There's nothing else we could have done. If all that work that we did didn't make a bigger impact than this, then I'm out. And that lasted for every bit of about 5 minutes. And then I said, what are you doing? This is when you fight. And I had booked another Airbnb about 5 hours away to Boise. And I told the crew, I'm like, we're traveling tonight. I want to be with John. We went down there, saw the family, went to his grave, did an episode there. Mark Escobar had his dad talk today cup, and he put it there on John's grave. And just to get to stand there with him and his dad, let me tell you something about his dad, man. I wouldn't be around without the Mast family.
Yeah.
They have supported me in so many ways, guys, and they always know when to contact me. When I am at my lowest and I'm ready to give up, they always know. And even here lately, man, I've been on roughly about a 2-year hiatus. We've came on here a few times in that time frame, but I think
Nothing.
anybody can tell it wasn't like it was before. I had to pull back. These murder cases,
They're dark.
They take a piece of you with it. And I ended up on antidepressants, and I'll just leave it there, man. It really,
Yeah, you're in a
really
dark
did
place.
it. I'm back now. I feel healed. I'm excited to be back in action. I don't like what happened at the airport today, but that just comes with the territory. But that family is just, they are so special, man. John had such a loving family, and I want people to understand too, they want this child to be live streamed because their son, their brother, he was drugged through the mud, not only in the courts, but even in his death, he's been drugged through the mud. There's people that still look at John as a person that did the silver bullet. That hurts my heart so much. When first thing I saw this morning was a dad who took matters into his own hands. There was a 67-year-old man that just a few months ago raped. 67-year-old man raped his 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Went to jail, got out on bond, and then his team went missing. They didn't know where she was. Well, he found her, and she was with that 67-year-old man. He had kidnapped her, and the father took care of it. He did it. He had some dad justice. Let's just say that 67-year-old man is no longer on this earth, and the father is being charged with murder. For
Hopefully,
anybody that would mess with a kid, there's no justice that will do.
Yeah. Should be pursued to the ends of the planet.
But that's why the silver bullet is so dangerous. Because somebody that would accuse somebody, a parent, of doing something like that, so sick. And for anybody that thinks, oh, nobody would do that, oh my God. The
All of them.
majority of these cases, guys, where these guys are getting accused, it's coming up that all of the allegations were unfounded.
Yeah.
And we need to start sending these people to prison, for a very long time. They should lose custody.
Perjury.
They should lose custody automatically. They should go to prison. They should be fined. They don't get any of it. They don't get any of that.
Yeah, they're rewarded for it. I mean, everybody here knows, anyone that's ever been involved with this knows that, we actually in Texas, we have, thanks to Jeff Morgan, video of the assistant DA teaching other attorneys to use the silver bullet to, and I quote, get the upper hand in a divorce. We have the data that shows that over 80 some odd % of all allegations are as a result of the divorce and are later to be found out to be completely false. And no different with the John Mast. I threw it up here a little prematurely, but they tried to use that in the John Mast trial somewhat successfully. I mean, that's my opinion on why he got voluntary manslaughter. And for all the naysayers out there, I'm going to put up on the screen here the letter that was sent out that talked about these allegations. I'm sorry. Read it. Okay. Let me get my best singing voice. And this is from the city of Williston Police Department by Detective Danielle Hendricks.
And please understand, this is where John's case ended up in the beginning. It started in Williston, North Dakota, and that's where it was investigated. At one point in time, John was winning back custody of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And people forget this. And at that point in time, his ex-wife then moved to Idaho. And he had to follow suit and go over there and start all over again. So, but the case and the allegations originally happened in Williston, North Dakota, not Idaho. And this letter is from the investigator that was over the investigations with John. She personally sent this to the family and during the last trial. Read it out, Mike.
First off, I want to start this letter by sending my deepest condolences for the loss of your son. There is no greater pain than losing a child. Secondly, I want to introduce myself. My name is Danielle Hendricks. I'm a detective for the Williston Police Department. I was the primary detective on all the cases and circumstances you mentioned in your letter. I want you to know that anytime there is a report of suspected child abuse or neglect, it is the utmost priority to ensure the safety of the children. I know firsthand as I worked the cases with John, there is no sufficient evidence to establish that your son had done anything wrong or committed any crimes. John was
again, Dwayne.
I know firsthand as I worked the cases with John, there was no sufficient evidence to establish that your son had done anything wrong or committed any crimes. John was beyond cooperative with all the criminal investigations and even went as far as consenting to do a polygraph, which he passed. My criminal cases with John were closed years ago. No charges filed. As far as CPS, I'm able to give answers for reasons for things their departments do. You're in our thoughts and prayers. If you need anything else, please feel free to reach out. So, well, it looks like Eric went dark 30 on me here. This was if anyone watched the trial, the allegation is from that area. This was the media and was an area of contention, and why I personally believe he was given manslaughter instead of the what he should have been convicted of, which was first degree. And I have a video, and people can see and hear it they can hear it out of his mouth that happened. But since the silver bullet, even in death, it's still effective. And the evidence and the facts and the evidence, which would have exonerated him, still were being used to do that. I'm going to go ahead and play the documentary intro that I have. I believe, this is the one. And
hey, Dwayne, really quick before you start it, can you guys hear me?
I'm sorry.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, you're a little.
Yeah,
It is
I'm
what it
sorry
is.
about that, guys. It is, yeah.
You're
See
in
what
the
I've
airport.
done. And I've got people calling and sending messages, so it knocks me out every once in a while. But one thing I wanted to say is, and Dwayne will have to pull it up. If you guys got any questions about John's case, please ask. There might be some of you I know that have followed this case from the very beginning. So you know everything we've reported on. And even then, you might have something like, I'd like to know more about this. And there might be some people that's hearing about it for the first time. If you're hearing about it for the first time, we have 2 documentaries produced that we busted our tails to make, guys, and we put them on YouTube for free. You don't have to pay for them or anything. I don't know many people going out there spending that type of money and that type of work to put stuff up on YouTube for free. But we did that because John's case is so important because it touches on so many things. It touches on family court. It touches on false allegations. It touches on the custody exchange murders. Uh, all the tricks that get played. Like, if there was something that happens in the family courts, John went through it. And it's an important case that you can take that documentary and say, watch this. And by the end, you'll understand. So I'll shut up now.
All good. And went ahead and put the documentary link in the comments for all the social medias that we have available. So again, it's free of charge, as Eric mentioned. Great personal expense to him. But yeah, watch it, and that'll get you up to date. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick intro. It's about 40 seconds. We can watch along here. I do have the longer one that goes into more detail, but I think this will give you a good idea of what all this is about. But let me go ahead and add that and start her up.
In early February of this year, a man was gunned down, prosecutors say, by his ex-father-in-law.
He pulled up over there. I walked up, shot him.
The defendant, James Brashear, assassinated John Mast.
The man from North Dakota was identified as John Mast. Mast later died at St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. The alleged shooter, James Brashear, told police he purposely went to Rosar's to kill Mast.
I knew I would go to jail. I know I have to pay for this.
Brashear is now facing a first-degree murder charge.
Premeditated. I thought about it.
This was premeditated.
Parental alienation is a process in which a child becomes estranged from their...
The man said on the record to a police officer, verbatim, it was premeditated. He was not prompted, asked, whatever. He said those words, and he still only got voluntary manslaughter. I can pull up Idaho law.
For people that might not be aware, I mean, just the prosecutor himself, he's been doing this for years, guys. For years. If that would have been any other case, that video would have been enough without anything else to put them behind bars. But because of that silver bullet, you got to remember that silver bullet is one of the strongest things out there. But I have heard so many other people that have watched that documentary and said, I have never, ever in all my years seen somebody actually use the words, I premeditated this. Because that was the burden of evidence that we had to prove for it to be first-degree murder. Well, do you really have to prove it if you got a guy saying that he did it? And we ended up with voluntary manslaughter. Once somebody is accused of sexual molestation of their kids, they can prove their innocence in every way that you could possibly do it. There's always going to be somebody out there that still believes it and will avoid that person like the plague. And I can say this, and guys, I do this to be honest with you. I was a person like that. Luckily, I never went through those. I never got any of those allegations. I think I would have, probably. If I would have stayed in the situation I was in, oh yeah, I'm sure I would have been accused of doing all kinds of things. And it can easily happen when the family court starts boiling over. But I hadn't been through that. When I first started Dad Talk, it was just about criminal alienation and family court. And when these parents with their allegations and silver bullets started coming to me, I tried to avoid them. Because
Yeah.
I wanted to be safe, better safe than sorry.
Right.
What if they did? And I meant that it was all good intentions. But it took me a while working with some of these parents and realizing there is no way this guy could do the things they're accusing him of. And I started, dipping into it a little bit more. And I'm like, oh God, this is the best way to get the upper hand in court. And it's unfortunately probably one of the biggest tools that they use.
Yeah. Miss Power Stroke, absolutely. You can't undo an accusation like that. And unfortunately, the John Mast trial proved it once again. You never recover from it. It's sad people manipulate something so disgusting.
That's it, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. So, for those that don't know, everyone probably should, but again, this isn't Eric's first trip out up northwestern. He again covered the murder trial, as everyone should be aware of, and that's why he's going back to cover the wrongful death trial. And you had received unprecedented access. The judge. I kind of want to talk about your relation to the judge because let's be honest. I mean, I in my other world, pissed off parent, and usually the equal shared parenting world, we hate judges, we hate attorneys, and all that stuff. But your experience with this judge in particular was very different.
If we had judges like Judge Watson, our courts would not be in the shape that they are.
Oh yeah.
He is a man of character and integrity, and people can think that we're being partial to him or whatever. Look, there was plenty of times the defense said something in the court, and if they made a point, he went with it. He was fair.
Right.
He really listened to it with an open mind. And unfortunately, in these cases, it doesn't matter anyway because he's just the judge. This whole thing is going to be decided by a jury. So, but very fair guy. I think probably runs his courthouse better than any judge I've ever seen. And if you don't have anything bad going on behind the scenes, you should grant access to the media. Let's be honest. If you ain't got nothing to hide, then why would it be a problem? But this will be our third time getting cameras inside the courtroom. We did the first trial. Then he allowed us in there for the sentencing. And now we'll be doing the wrongful death trial. And we'll be respectful, as we always have been. But I do think for those, so the thing about this case, when you're in litigation, there's certain things you just can't talk about. And there's been many questions that people have asked me about this case during that time. And because of the trial and because of legal reasons, I couldn't say anything.
Hey, you don't have a mistrial.
But I would say to you now, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I do know the family is testifying, even Robert.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah, he will be on the stand. I think if you tune into this one, you'll get some of the bits and pieces of the story that a lot of you guys have been wanting, and I haven't exactly been allowed to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, again, you got to look at the greater good and all that. So yeah, actually, I wanted to share this real quick. My wife Brandy, we got the honor actually of meeting the Robert Mast and all that, and she still, it was a couple years ago, still talks about him to this day. He is the nice. I mean, for those that know him, know of him, have dealt with him, he is the nicest, most gentlest man you could ever meet in the world.
You are a product of your parents. We know that. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that can be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Knowing who John's parents were, there is no way on God's green earth the things he was accused of. You would just have to meet his family, guys. John came from such a humble background.
Mm-hmm.
And, I still say to this day, dude, one of the first things that struck me when I was standing over John's casket is I looked down at his hands, and his fingers were stained black you could just tell those were hardworking hands. And at that time, I think he was one of his side jobs was making ammo at a factory. And I think John was working 3 different jobs trying to keep up with this because just about all of his money was going into the family.
Yeah.
Then you got the videos of his kids opening presents, Christmas presents, like 6 months later after Christmas, and them saying, "We were told that you didn't send any presents. Who told you that? Mama did." It was like, "I sent you those presents. They got sent back to me."
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like, why would you do that? You know, I'm gonna tell you, she would be such an easy person to hate.
If you watch the trial, you can easily find ways to hate her.
Well, I'm gonna try to be the bigger man here because I say the same thing with people in my position. That I would like to see, and I don't know how this is ever going to be pulled off. I would like to see healing, and I would like to see people get help because those kids need their parents.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, the courts aren't there to de-escalate the conflict when it arises. We know that. They want even more conflict because when you do that, you have to fight more, and then that puts more money in everybody in the courtroom's pockets. But I wish it was one of those where the kids could have both parents. In this situation, when you hear the details of what those kids have been through, I probably just need to cut it right now with what I'm talking about because I'm going to end up saying something I don't need to.
Yeah, I feel you. I was watching to prepare for this. I was watching parts of the trial and seeing her laugh and smile and act. Yeah, it ignited the anger all over again for me. But yeah, I know we probably want to keep those parts separate.
At this point, you've got a father that was killed.
Yeah.
And the one thing that you can see on both of them during that trial, no remorse.
None.
There was no apologies to the family. We're sorry we did this. This was a misunderstanding. They were proud of what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And they were there to excuse it. And so I don't know how a jury can't see through that either. It was premeditated. It wasn't a heat of the moment thing because the guy still thinks he did something good.
Yeah, that was me preparing, seeing images like that, and I got pissed off. But yeah, anyway, I know we don't want to waste any more time on that.
Okay, I would say to everybody right now, because I can tell you, they are suppressing this feed very, very hard. Over 1 million people this should be reaching out to right now, Dwayne.
Yeah.
We need your help, guys. We need your help getting this story out there. I'm just going to live stream on YouTube when time gets there tomorrow for us to stream. But I need your help getting us out. And also, if you would like to support us while we're on the road with some of the crazy stuff we're doing, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of money, and that other people it's coming to meet when we get to the next donation. We get to the next destination. We still have a couple hours drive to get to the final destination. But there was ways that you can help me take care of this $600 last minute.
Unexpected.
Yeah, unexpected tickets. Just little things like that, man. You got to be ready to adjust and move on when you're on the road like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to do more stuff like this and get involved in more cases because I got the opportunity to do so much more, but I don't have funds to back it up.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it does cost money. I mean, you spent quite a bit on plane tickets, plus some. You got the car rental, places to stay, you got a crew, working with the courts, equipment. There's a lot of moving parts.
At the same time, I want to say thank you to the ones that have pitched
Oh
in.
yeah, yeah.
Anthony Michael Perez, the guy, he donated an Airbnb for a week, dude. And this was within the first 5 minutes of saying we were coming to town. I didn't even ask. Before I asked for support or anything, I got a message and it's like, hey, I got an Airbnb. Your team's got it for a whole week. You're not turning it down.
That's the best kind of friends and support. Yeah, the ones that do
I
that.
mean, yeah, I will say on the other side too, like when we're out in the field and we get on here and we see you guys cheering us on and we see you liking and sharing and commenting, some of you might not be able to contribute, and that's okay. You can contribute by showing up. Man, it's not what we do it for. We're not here for you to say, hey, good job, you're the man.
Feels good.
But does it help? Yeah, because we're fighting some
Demons.
pretty hard demons, absolutely. And then there's a lot of people that don't want us in that. I can tell you the last time I was there, I had a bulletproof vest on. I had a security guard.
Yeah.
And that might sound funny to some.
You're a big boy.
Well, you
But
gotta remember what happened in this case.
yeah.
And we were the tip of the spear with getting it out. And so that same person's doing the same thing again this time. Amazing. And dude, it's so nice to know, like, I'm going completely to the other side of the country, Wayne. And when I get there,
Literally, yeah.
welcoming us with open arms and supporting us and taking care of us. It's just a great feeling. And for the Mast family, I'm hoping that they can get some healing. And it was, again, 5 years. And we got to go back in that. We got to talk about all of that trauma. We got to go right back into the loss of John. I was talking to you about this the other night. And I don't even know if I should say it on there, but I will. Like, I really hope I don't have to hear that 911 call. It caught me off guard the first time, and I really, it's hard. It really is hard. They've got to relive this again. So when we come on there and we see you, I stand with John. I asked him. So there's one of the many trips, that we've done. I think it was about 2.5, 3 years ago now. I went up to the area. Well, first off, I started off in Dallas, Texas. I was at CPAC.
Yeah.
I was in Dallas, Texas for a whole week, broadcasting, interviewing legislators, interviewing Kim Paxton, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
All right.
The father of Ted Cruz. And, I was there basically just to push back at the child support of fine conception, the retroactive child support. But I was there for a week, and I didn't get to go home. I flew from there. At the end of that week, went into Boise. As soon as I got in Boise, I was picked up by John's father, Robert, and we got in his vehicle. We took off and drove 10 hours away to Billings, Montana. And then that next morning, we started off. We did the whole state of Montana, the whole state of Washington, the whole state of Idaho, and the whole state of Oregon. We went to every single, we didn't miss one. The only ones that we missed were the ones that just would not talk to us. And the only ones that were talked to us were ones that got government funding, by the way. I just want to throw that in there. Government grants, think about that. But we went and met with every single supervised custody center.
Oh, yeah.
We talked to them about the importance of these custody exchange murders and asked them some ideas and insights, like how can we get it to where these guys can stop dying? Can we have it set up to where mom can bring the kids to your place, drop them off, and then once you leave, dad comes up, picks up the kids, and then leave. That way we're limiting contact. And we were out there trying to get research. Nobody's done it before.
Yeah.
2,700 miles in 4 days that we drove, and that was after that week at CPAC. When I tell you, we were tired.
Yeah.
I mean, just getting to do that, that is some of the advocacy work that, like I said, some people might not get to see, but we needed data. We needed to know if we can get something set up, would you be interested in helping us? And that's what I found out. If they got government funding, they won't even talk to you. Most of the time it's attached to VAWA, setting up something to where they can do supervised custody exchanges. They were open to it, but once we started getting into the specifics and stuff, it's not profitable. And how many people would use it? Can they get the courts to actually promote it? Let's be honest. A lot of these custody exchange orders are happening at the police station. If they can't,
we have the data. Yeah.
It's I think the best way we're going to have to prevent is to clean up these courts, because that's where it's boiling over from.
Well, a report just came out of Kentucky. They've been showing a 15%, I believe it is, year over year since the 50-50 got passed there. And it's getting so much better. The violence and domestic. A report just came out about a week ago, and that is the Kentucky 50-50 law has been a success story.
What about the silver bullet?
That's gone down. That's the allegations and all that has gone down because there's no reason to fight anymore. Shocking.
Well, good. It's been my number one fear. And that's one of those, I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong because I want him to work, but I'm just afraid of, like, you get shared parenting and you don't have legislation in to combat false allegations where there's consequences, then it just encourages those attorneys to use the silver bullet even more.
Right. They'll find a new way to do it. That it seemed from the data that I have, doesn't seem to be the case that's what's happened. I'm making guesses here, assuming is that once that happened, the lawyers figured that, it's over, the party's over, and let's just get this thing over with.
Unless they just haven't figured that out yet.
Well, yeah, that's true. These lawyers aren't the smartest. Yeah, you never know, but yeah, so far it's been a success story. I just wish it would continue on throughout the other 50 states.
That was my fear, is it doesn't change the game, it just changes how they play it.
Right. Yeah, they'll find new ways to do that. I mean, we've seen, I've been involved for a while, you've been involved for a while. You see that they're always finding new ways, or like velociraptors always, attacking the gate, trying to figure out new ways to make it work. But yeah, I kind of, talking about the time and expense and everything, the research, getting all the data, it does cost time and money. Well, it's a lot of time and money. And, my ask for everybody out there is, if you can donate, I put in the chat a few ways. You can go to the dadtalktoday.com website, and you can do that. Other ways you can, if you're broke and can't do it, like, share, subscribe. And tell your friends about it, because that also helps out. I mean, every little bit helps. Eric is fighting a Goliath situation here, and he's doing it all on faith. Again, I'll probably get in trouble in a private chat later, but he's going to Idaho on faith, literally. So take that for what it's worth.
It always ends up happening, somehow, some way. There's a lot of good coming up. And it takes care of itself. But just know this, guys. If I ask for support, it means we really need it, because I just don't do it.
That's not your normal.
I'm going to tell you more than anybody. It was not long ago. I lost my AC in the studio. Dwayne would say, "Hey, man, let people know they'll help you." Nope. I'm usually saying no, because I want to make sure if I'm asking for your support that I'm able to do what you want me to do with it.
Right.
This week, you'll be able to see what's going on. And I've got some stuff following up with this too, guys. I want you to understand doing dad talk is a sacrifice, because I've been doing other podcasts, and unfortunately, they don't have the numbers that dad talk does as far as following, but the viewership kicks our ass because our people aren't as organized. I mean, I hate to say it, but I gotta give you the truth. Trying to make it sound good doesn't help anybody. This is the one that takes the most amount of work, and that where we need the help. I honestly believe if we had the funding, dude, I could flip the system on top of its head easy.
Well,
Easy. It wouldn't be as hard as people think. And I don't think it's going to be done inside of a state house with a legislation.
yeah, this is just a quick, thing of all the people you've met, talked to, have a relationship with.
No, you need to get in my phone, dude.
This is just the iceberg, but all the different people that you've met, talked to, had built relationships with. That's why a lot of why he does it right there. But yeah, and then of course acting goofy. All those are the people in there. Why he does what he does.
And I love it. I love being able to meet new people. And let me throw this out there too. If you're somebody that would like to get your story out there, similar to like what I've done for John or done from some of these other people, I really love making the documentaries because I can tell the story in a way that you just can't do on a podcast.
Right.
And unfortunately now, when I first started the podcast, it was a big deal because I was kind of early with it. Now everybody and their mother has a podcast, and I think the market's just gotten so saturated that if you can do a documentary and you write out the script to make sure it's got maximum impact and it's made for social media. The last one I done that way, I got like close to 500,000 views. Not bad, and that was just on one platform. I can get the story out there and I can produce it, but I don't want to be doing the fundraising. So if there was people out there that did their own fundraising, you want your story told, you do your part, I'll do mine. I would love to help tell your story, but I'm not going to go selling chocolate and or candy bars and stuff like that to be able to do it. I would need my head in there, getting the scripts ready, having a crew, and then I'll distribute it. It took 6 years in the making of the social media to where it is now, dude.
Yeah,
And,
a lot of work. So, what can everyone expect Monday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time?
So it's 8 o'clock Pacific time, which would be 11 Eastern. And I've got to wrap my head around that.
I know time zones.
Yeah, I'm in Eastern, so I'm not telling you, I'm struggling right now. I've been up, and then between everything else that's went on. Oof, Jesus Christ. Anyway, so we're not too sure what's going to be going on. I talked to Robert Mast just yesterday. He was thinking of something quite different than what I had been handed when I talked to the judge. I originally thought so jury selection is the first thing that's going to happen.
Okay.
Obviously, out of respect and the law, we cannot film the jury. So while jury selection is going on, I told Robert just to be respectful and to make sure we're abiding by everything. I don't even want my crew in there. We'll just be outside. Once jury selection is over, that's when I can go in there and start the recording. So I figured jury selection, given the instructions for the trial and everything, would pretty much be day one. And then when I asked the judge about that, he was like, I would assume that sounds like a pretty good, guess of how it's going to go. Robert let me know we might actually hear the majority of the testimonies of the Mast tomorrow. I'm sorry, I just saw like a 90-year-old man doing the Macarena. That looked like.
Sure wasn't me. I can still do it.
Yeah, so I mean, we won't know. I mean, that's the thing. So regardless, and it made him feel a lot better. I was like, if that's what happens, if we do get meat and potatoes tomorrow, we're going to be right there ready with the cameras ready to go. So uh, just stick around and, I'll let you go. It's going to be 3 days in a row. They don't expect it to go any further than that. I'm only going to stream it on YouTube, guys, because Facebook started something now where they delete the stream like a month later. And for those of you not aware, one of the biggest mistakes I ever made with Dad Talk, which is why the views have taken a plummet. One is from taking breaks, but the other is I built my podcast on Facebook instead of YouTube or Spotify or anything like that. I did it on social media because I thought with our movement, it would be a way to do it. And obviously, like, look, dude, we did great with the social media. But 6 years worth of podcasts where I did Dad Talk Today, poof, it's gone.
Yep. Like
So whatever was it on YouTube, there was a lot of it that got lost, man. That is very disheartening. And then Facebook has a very bad thing of putting their thumb down on you and making it to where you can literally, dude. The Facebook is at 530 something thousand followers. I haven't tried to grow it in a while, but over 500,000, and it's saying, look at how many people it's saying in there. BS, dude. BS. Let me go live on Instagram and watch what happens. So it'll skyrocket. But again, going into stuff.
All the other fun stuff.
Tomorrow, we're going to be YouTube only. That way I can put the link out there. It's only in one place. I'll have 3 different links, day 1, day 2, day 3. Unfortunately, when they go to lunch and stuff like that, to keep from having to make more links, I'll probably just have like a graphic that says we'll be back.
Be back soon.
You'll have to be watching, but if you follow me on Facebook, follow my personal page, Eric Carroll, because I probably won't post them off on Dad Talk as much. I'll try to give like little posts, hey, we're going to be back in 5 minutes, we'll be back in 30 minutes or whatever, just to give you an idea so you don't have to sit there looking at the screen. But then again, something that would be great, dude, is when that live stream starts, y'all get in those comments, the hashtag I stand with John's, candles. Candles was something very meaningful for John and his family. It was symbolic of his fight. So when you put the candles and the hashtag I stand with John down in the comments, it helps. But for what people can hear us right now, we had very little time to promote this. And look, here's just one of the misconceptions. All day long, I get people, hey, share this for me, share this, because they see us with followers. Man, I need your help sharing stuff. Just because I got a following doesn't mean I reach all of my people. It's not as, that's how they make their money. Is anything that you got that's important, you want somebody, you want it to get in front of people, we're going to tamper it down so you'll boost it. They want you boosting. That's how they make their money.
Make their money, yeah.
It's how they've always made their money. That's why if you go to a TikTok or an Instagram, your numbers seem to go much higher. So, and anything done with the father strikes, it was crazy, dude. The guy that shuttled me to the airport this morning, I heard he had a podcast on it. It was talking about the dangerous people in the manosphere, the Jordan Petersons and stuff like that.
We're dangerous.
And said they're trying to act all macho. And I'm like, here's this guy just eating this stuff up, and he doesn't realize it's not about being macho. It's about being a man, dude.
Yeah.
It's about being what we were put on this earth to be.
Yep. Strong dads.
About how people are very critical about other men having effeminate ways. Like, yeah, you weren't born a woman.
Right. Exactly.
It's okay to be masculine. Being a dad is an amazing thing. And guess what? Your kids need that masculinity from you. Your kids need you to be macho and masculine because they need those lessons and that instilled in them. That's where they get it from. So, went on my little tangent.
Well, I was hoping to get some questions out of the folks that are on, but Feeling that, unless you have other items, I'd like to close out with the I Stand with John trailer that you had produced a while back, which really gives, from what I saw, a good overview of the case, what's going on, and all that. And just again, another request to like, share, subscribe. If you're able to donate, great. The links are out there. Go to dadtalktoday.com. The specific ones, I put those in the thing. But yeah, Eric. Well, actually, is there anything else you want to tell the crowd?
Well, Venmo, Cash App, it's Dad Talk Today, no spaces. I did have it going to my camera guy over the past week. And for anybody, like, why would you do that? It's just anytime somebody asks for money in this community, that's when the drama starts.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, there's nobody in here making hand over fist outside of the attorneys. And it's the one thing that's been able to, that's held me back from being able to do the things that I need to do for this movement. And I think it's sad when I can go talk about pro wrestling or MMA or something like that, and it gets 10 times the amount of support as fighting for fathers and children.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and that's just the truth. It hurts my heart that everything else just blows it out the water. But when I get here with the serious cause, we have these problems. And I'm really hoping that changes. But that support is much needed. We're going to be out. You're going to see us in the field. It's not cheap. We go from Georgia to Idaho. And I've got more traveling to do when I get done with that. And it all plays in to this. So just know when you do that, you're supporting it. You've seen me do this for years, guys. In 2022, 43 states I went to. I've got all of those videos where I marched the capitals. I had blisters on my feet, knocking on doors, talking to legislators, trying to get shared parenting passed. And the only reason you don't see me doing that anymore is I know how big of a waste of time it is.
Yeah.
That's it. I could still be out there and, hey, you need to fund me so I can go do more. I don't believe in that. It wasn't effective. I can get a meeting with any of them. I've done it. Dude, look at the places and the things I've done. Had access. It is not effective. And anybody wants to say it is, you know what? It is. It is what it is. Yeah. You might get some little wins here and there. We have to do a different level of attack. If you do the same things you've always done and expect different results, insanity. I don't have time for that. My time is precious. My time that I take away from my kids and my family is precious. And I want to make sure if I do that sacrifice that I'm being effective. And I honestly know how to be effective. We just don't. There is billions of dollars in grants and stuff for these issues, guys, if you are a female, if you attach to VAWA. Right. So that's the thing. They claim it does get the support that it needs, but it's disguised under the Violence Against Women's Act. If it's for dads, or if you're planning on dads being involved, you're not going to get it.
Nope.
We are the red-headed stepchildren that they just don't give the respect. So it's up to us, guys.
Got I stand with John from Janet. Go, Janet.
I love it. I love it, dude. That is, one of the trips I came up here, and we went to the Boise, went to the state capitol in Idaho. The whole Mast family went with me. Went and talked to every one of those legislators. And then afterwards, we drove 5 hours back up to Lewiston. The next day, we did a parental alienation rally in tribute to John outside of the courthouse. Dude, that place was packed. And all the way down the sidewalk, people had signs, holding up signs, parental alienation is child abuse, hashtag I stand with John. And the people in the town was coming by, honking their horns and stuff. Beautiful, dude. Beautiful. The news was out there even. They did a piece on that. Stuff like that makes a difference. It really does. And I believe one day we're going to be able to move the needle. I think it's coming. Like I said, dude, we've seen some progress in just the way people talk about it now in the conversations. That was the last time I was in Colorado. That right there.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, it's hard to one of the things with the video that I was trying to find when you were talking about the legislation in the video in the documentary. There is that section. I was trying to find it and what I'd pulled down to quickly go to it to show people.
Well, when you did that, it just reminded me that was the last time I was in Colorado when you saw
Oh,
that.
let's see, that one.
That
Yeah, Sophia.
was Sophia. So one of the first things this was one of the first cases. This was before John or anybody, where I reported on the death of Sophia Larson, where she overdosed, not overdosed. She
Well,
died from ingesting her mom's crystal meth,
mhm.
and I helped raise the money to get that tombstone. So I was getting to see the fruits of the labor. And to be quite honest with you, Dwayne, I had forgot I had done it. And then he reminded me when we was there, he was like, you were one of the main reasons. I knew there was nothing I could do to ease his pain, what was going on.
Right.
But I said, he can at least get a really good tombstone, as a tribute to his daughter. And that was a beautiful tombstone.
Right.
But getting to see up close what's going on. And I have that documentary coming out sometime soon too. There was about $100,000 that went into the documentary about his daughter, and it's been completed for 2 years now. We've just been waiting to get something going for the distribution. And dude, we had actors, like reenactments.
Yeah.
We rented locations, and there was so much work that went into that. It looks like something straight off of the Discovery Channel. And I didn't want to just throw it on YouTube because
Well, money involved to get it built. Yeah.
so much involved. Man. I want somebody to see the potential of what we're doing so that we can get these stories out. I think that's where the power is getting the awareness out to what these parents are going through. I mean, his daughter literally died from drinking her mom's bottle of water that was crystal meth. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
If that doesn't have WTF, and if you can do it in a true crime like way that people are entertained and like to watch, but at the same time have your advocacy in there, it's just one of the out of the box ideas. Because just going straight, family court's evil, family court, it makes money, parental alienation, child abuse. You're going to get people in the community that show up, but you're not going to get outside of the community. And to get action, we need to get outside of the community as well as inside. But we've got to find a way to start,
Yeah.
making the umbrella bigger, because we need some major, major help, dude. This is a war.
Oh, it's definitely a war.
Any kid that ever grew up without their father should be interested in this.
Yeah, definitely. So and you can go to dadtalktoday.com. This video actually plays on a loop there, but it's just interesting because Eric, everyone kind of goes, oh, he's the John Mast guy, or he's the Jeff Younger guy, or he's the I have just a screenshot. This thing was on the video for I think a fraction of a second, and I know the bottom right story, the bottom right one has special meaning for you. The bottom one does. Obviously the far left one does, and of course the top right one does. But when you were talking earlier about Robert at the Capitol, I believe that the top right picture there was the one you were talking about, where they.
That's where he was at. But there's another case right there, dude. 2 more cases. You got me sitting there with Jeff Younger, but one of the ones that rarely gets talked about that I was so proud in, and can show you the power of the movement when we get together, is the one at the bottom right there.
Mm-hmm.
That is me with Robert Adams and Brian Adams. And if you see that cotton, that was the stitches that Brian had just got from surgery. He lived up in Detroit, Michigan, but he was so thankful and wanted to meet me so bad that right out of surgery, he flew down here with his dad, who's standing in the middle right there with me. He was sick. He was 13 years old. when he and was alienated from his dad when his mom was keeping him away from his dad, and they were staying in a hotel room. And at that point in time, she was making drugs. She was making hash oil. And to do that, she had to use butane to extract the THC, and was doing that in the middle of the night in the hotel. And while Brian was asleep on the couch in the middle of the night, she went to light up a cigarette, forgetting that she had the whole thing filled with
Yeah,
butane,
gas.
blew the whole hotel room up, and threw him out the window of a 3-story building. He went all the way down to the ground. Suffered major burns. They took him to 3 different hospitals that night, and all 3 of them said, "There's nothing we can do. He's dying, and we can just keep him comfortable." And they was, no, that's not happening. And dude, I'll have to get into that story.
Yeah,
There's
there's
just so many details, but long story short, he needed $150,000 to save his life because insurance wasn't going to pay for a surgery he needed if he was going to die.
yep.
In Thanksgiving of 2020, we raised $175,000 between Dad talking to media, and he got that surgery. And that's what you're seeing right there, and it saved the boy's life.
Yeah.
And he is alive and well and kicking in college. And just talked to him the other day. It's not a parental, well, I mean, there was some parental alienation that went on there, but that was just one of those dad talk stories that when it first came to me and I saw him, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how could this boy go through so much torture and nobody's helping him? Nobody would talk about his story, dude.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And as much as the media likes sensationalism, I'm like, they can get sensationalism like all over this. And like, I didn't mean that in a bad way.
Right.
And, but I met him on video and I was like, oh my God, here's where I could be of assistance and help this father, because Rob couldn't work a job. He had to stay with Brian all day long to take care of him after this. And I mean, this kid has had 225 plus surgeries.
Yep.
In less than 10 years, dude. So anyway, we can talk about that
There's
story
a
later.
lot. Yeah, there's so many. The one down there in the bottom. There's so many stories there. Yeah, because it's kind of hard for you to see. There's so many.
I'm probably about to have to hop off.
Well, I was wanting to go ahead and close. If there's anything left that you wanted to say to everybody, but I was going to close out with the documentary trailer so everybody can kind of remember. Whoops. Oh, there we go. Sorry, that was my bad. Hit the wrong too many buttons. I was wanting to close out with the documentary and then go ahead and end the show out. But anything final thoughts?
Make sure to show up tomorrow when you can, even if you just put the stream on and you put it on mute. Keep it in the background. Put your hashtag I stand with John and candles in there as much as you can, and well wishes so that the family sees it. If you can support our travels, amazing. The links to the Cash App, Venmo, Dwayne put them in there numerous times. If you can't do it that way, like, share, comment, support. It's going to be on YouTube. Follow my personal page if you want play-by-play. This is when we're going to come back after lunch. This is what's going on. And biggest thing is help me fight this algorithm, because we've got very little time to do it in. Usually when I did these cases in the past, I would be on here several months ahead of time, every 30 minutes, probably making you sick of me. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. And this is in the social media world, people are constantly scrolling. So they might see something and plan on supporting you, and then they forget it because they're on information overload. I need your help getting the word out. That's just a long way of saying that. Help me get the word out. If you can support us, please support us. And for the ones that have supported me,
thank you.
Thank you. And I want to do something for you guys. You can ask anybody that supported me in the past, but that isn't something that I take lightly. I will always have a special place in my heart for you guys, and I make note of it. Let's just say it that way.
Remember, hashtag I stand with John.
That's it. And then Dwayne, I don't know. I think it might not be a bad idea to maybe through the rest of tonight, if we can find out some way to do it with YouTube, maybe live stream the documentaries.
Yeah, I could pull that. Yeah, I can do that after we're off here, time it up and everything, and let everybody watch that. Maybe do like a kind of a commentary while you're driving, jet setting out to wonderful, now warm Idaho versus cold. When was the last time you were there? So
Not quite Idaho yet. I got to go to Washington first.
go well, Washington, and then yeah, over there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I'm sorry.
Wait, nothing. Go ahead.
Oh, Jose, again, thank you everybody for joining in. I'm going to go ahead and end the show with the trailer of the documentary. Go ahead and look for links. I'm going to go ahead and do a live stream of the documentary, and then look for your comments. Be sure to show up tomorrow on YouTube, and just pepper it with "I Stand with John." Let everybody know that John's murder wasn't in vain. That's kind of.
I meant to say this to you earlier because you asked me about something. And the whole reason I wasn't doing that to brag or to say, look what we did. When I was talking about when we went out of town and went to the custody visitation centers, the reason we did that was trying to find out, one, how we can minimize these from happening anymore, but two, to find out ways that we can support these parents. So like a couple of weeks ago when we had Joyce on, I had, several parents that I could point her in their direction that had been there and done that. And she had people to talk to her that knows what it was like. And it was definitely good for her. But I remember at the end of that trip, sitting down with the Mast family and asking them, like, go back to when John was first killed. Or like when you were going through that trial, what is something that would have helped you during that time, if you could have had it, that would have helped you, that we can do for other parents if this ever happens again? And I'll never forget, I remember which one specifically. It was John's sister Katie, and they all agreed. She said, actually, she was like, the thing that we could have had, we did have, that helped the most, was having you and Dad talk today there, because it made us feel like we weren't alone and we had someone fighting with us.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, the joy that filled in my heart knowing like we made them feel like we've got your back. You know what I mean? So don't misunderestimate that, guys. You guys being there, showing your support, letting them know we're here. We support you, because remember, there's still a lot of people that believe in that silver bullet. And even me, I'm not the most liked guy in that town because I'm fighting for the guy that was accused. They either absolutely love you and appreciate you, or they hate you. So your support is much needed. So that's it. That's what I got.
Yeah. Well, Eric, go give him hell or heaven. Sorry, probably need to change that around, but give him heaven. And keep doing that good work. Yeah. For everybody else, I mean, just think about it. I mean, my personal story, Eric, we were all alone. And for me, I don't want anyone else to ever go through what I went through. That's why I do what I do. I'm sure it's part of why Eric does what he does. And for anyone out there that was all alone, that had nobody, or you hopefully had Dad Talk Today there to share and talk with, like John did earlier on, but be there for somebody else. Don't let what happened to you happen to somebody else. Get out there, show your support. And that's pretty much kind of all I have to say. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and close with the I Stand with John trailer, and I'll try to get something started with the documentary later tonight. Until then, everybody, y'all have a good one, and we will talk at y'all later.
So I started talking to these fathers that was facing these false allegations and finding out more of what it was like for them and how common that it is. Little did I know during that time there was somebody watching my show named John Mast.
At this time, I'd like to bring our first guest on the show. John, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, John, how you doing this Thanksgiving, man?
I'm all right. How about you? Jim walks around the front of the van and starts shooting. Says, "Hi, John," and starts shooting.
This is an innocent man, and you know he's innocent.
He loved his children.
Absolutely the most agonizing, excruciating pain in my heart.
The ex-father-in-law showed up and killed him.
Just unbelievable that someone would do that to John. Such a good person, good, soft-hearted, tender person.
It's just like, no, John fought so hard, and just to end this way, the injustice, it's like unbelievable.
So no, I haven't gotten to see my kids.
John Mast lost his life fighting for his children. After years of not seeing them and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in family law courts, he was murdered the day he was set to reunite with them. There's never been a better time to stand for what you believe in. Now is the time to end this madness. This is a war that we are fighting with false allegations and parental alienation, and John's story will not go unnoticed. I stand with John.